Joining us here on India Today for our non-stop coverage of the tragedy that's broken out after a stampede in Karur of Tamil Nadu. 39 deaths have been reported, and now videos emerging from what exactly happened last night in Karur. Let's get you a news break on that. There's a video that shows Vijay speaking atop the bus despite people lying on the side of the road unconscious. There are questions being asked about whether Vijay continued with his rally even as people had fallen unconscious, and he's atop a bus, so he could have easily seen that. So there's one side that claims Vijay continued with his speech. The other that says that this was actually Vijay who is atop that bus urging the crowd to help ambulances to come through. That he was trying to help those people who were stuck by the side of the bus. Now let's find out what exactly is the truth here. That video that you see on your screens is doing the rounds. You can see clearly from atop the bus there, the spotlights are on, Vijay's on top, and right around where the person is shooting the video, there are people lying unconscious all around. Now the question is, was Vijay actually continuing with his rally despite people having fainted, or was he actually on top that bus appealing to people to make way for ambulances, trying to help them? Pramod Madhav is joining me with more on this. Pramod, what's the truth? Was it a moment of extreme insensitivity? Did Vijay continue with his rally, or was he actually appealing for help?
Well, Akshita, there were two instances that had occurred as he started speaking in Karur, and the first thing is that people were saying that we are actually showing your Vijay's residence at the spot. He was actually saying that people were requesting for water, and what happened is that he stopped talking and he actually started throwing water to the crowd over there. He tried giving them water, but imagine for a 50,000 people standing over there, you're just throwing 5 to 6 bottles of water. How would that actually be enough for them? And then what happens is that as he continued to speak, the situation turned kind of more chaotic, that he actually asked for ambulance, and ambulance was there but it could not move. In fact, he was actually saying ambulance multiple times, but he also requested the people to actually make way. That did also not happen properly. And then what he does is he asks, can I continue? And then he starts speaking, he finishes his speech. It only shows that he's unfortunately it looks like this is the first stampede Vijay has actually encountered, and that's the reason it looks like extremely insensitive. Not just Vijay, but for his entire team who were there. They also did not know, absolutely had no clue what to do. Because imagine, they were only worried about bringing that campaign bus into the crowd. Imagine if there's such a crowd, what Vijay could have done as a responsible neta is that he could have stopped, he could have asked the people to move, asked the people to give some space and say I will come, or make it look multiple points. Why one location at Karur? Why can't you make it as 5 points? Every point you speak for 2 minutes or 3 minutes and go. This could have been avoided, but unfortunately, it looks like his team is completely not capable of handling such a situation. Probably we saw it the first time. There was an issue with the mic and completely he could not speak. And this time this has occurred. This is a lesson not just for Vijay, but all the netas across India, Akshita.
Absolutely. And the fact that, the response from Vijay has been clearly wanting in the situation doesn't help. The fact that we have not seen an adequate response from the TVK chief after that stampede. But those are images on your screens of a video that shows you what exactly happened. The crowd's going berserk there. And just look at that, viewers. There are people lying unconscious all across that particular stretch, not moving, not budging. And there's no medical help that's actually reaching them. That delay itself would have led to the casualty count going up, because in this kind of a circumstance, time is of essence to ensure that people get all the help they need. So while Vijay was atop that bus, there are people there who have fainted, who are unconscious, lying on the road with no help reaching them at all. You can see all the locals around there waving at Vijay and yelling at him, perhaps trying to draw his attention to the fact that people have fallen unconscious right there, very close to the bus. The barricades have been pushed apart. They're just lying there waiting for help to reach them. It took a lifetime for the ambulances actually to make it through and get right up to these points where people were lying unconscious. So they couldn't be resuscitated in time. They weren't given the kind of help that they needed at that point. And that shows you how badly things were arranged at that particular location. There are some who are claiming that Vijay continued with his rally despite people lying unconscious on the side there. There are others who are saying, no, that's not true. Vijay was atop that bus, appealing for people to move aside and let ambulances come through. There's an audio also of that from last night where Vijay can be heard saying, distribute water, help people. But was it too late? Too little, too late? Ideally, you shouldn't have even seen this kind of a rally happening with these kind of crowds. 50,000 people and a lack of preparations clearly on ground also that led to so many people lying unconscious and not a single ambulance making its way to them. That footage is shocking that you see on your screens because, Pramod, away from questions of really whether Vijay was holding a rally or not, it tells you what happened. It tells you that, you had people lying unconscious there and not a single ambulance making it through to them. Time is of the essence in these kind of tragedies. None of them got the help they needed. Get you more breaking news that's coming in right now. TVK leaders are being booked one after another by the police for this incident in Karur. We understand that TVK General Secretary Anand has been booked. There's also an FIR that's been filed against CTR Nirmal Kumar. So there are 3 TVK functionaries now who've been booked by the Tamil Nadu police. Remember that the Karur TVK District Secretary has also been booked earlier today by the cops. So now 3 leaders essentially who have been booked by the police for what's happened for this tragedy. I'll just tell you also the details right now. We know that the General Secretary of TVK, Anand, has been booked, as has Nirmal Kumar, who's the Joint General Secretary of the TVK. Effectively, what you're seeing is the officials of TVK being booked. Vijay hasn't been booked just yet, but you've got top officials of the party who are in fact the number 2s, number 3s, who are now being booked by the Tamil Nadu police. Look, there's no question, there's no two ways about this. There are, in fact, there's a great deal of responsibility that falls on the shoulders of the TVK for what happened. But at the same time, what about, in fact, the administration? Is there going to be action taken on that front? You've seen 3 TVK leaders now being booked. One who is the Karur District Secretary, the other who's the General Secretary of the TVK, and the third, the Joint General Secretary of the TVK. Several questions being asked about whether Vijay himself will be booked. So far, when that question has been asked, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister said we're going to wait for the investigation to actually decide on that. Pramod Madhav is joining us with more details on this. Pramod, 3 TVK leaders now being booked. Why exactly have they been booked right now? Why is it that the police believe that they are responsible for what happened? We'll connect with Pramod in just a bit for those details. But information coming in on the investigation that's now moving forward. FIR has been registered. 3 TVK leaders have been booked by the police right now. And so that leads to further questions about whether we're going to be seeing Vijay himself being named, whether Vijay too will be booked for what's happened. I want to bring in right now on this broadcast Dr. Sumansi Raman as well as Shekhar Iyer, who are joining us on this broadcast. Dr. Sumansi Raman, to you first. What we've seen is unfortunate. It's heartbreaking what's happened in Karur. To you, sir, who do you hold accountable for what happened last night?
I think it's very equally, the state government and the district administration are also liable for having allowed something like this to happen, because they had enough and more warnings. Akshita, you know very well that people have been talking about the crowds at Vijay's meetings for the last several weeks, if not months, and people have been saying that, look, this looks dangerous, something could happen. Actually, all of this was so predicted. And that is why it's important that we don't just say, it's all Vijay's fault and Vijay is solely to blame. There is also the issue of what the state government did, why they allowed, if permitted.
Yeah. Okay, apologies. We're going to reconnect with Dr. Suman C. Raman there. We're having a bit of a problem with this connection. Mr. Shekhar Iyer, do you think so too? From what I could pick up of what Dr. Raman was saying, he believes that it's not just the TVK, but also very much the state administration that must be held accountable for what happened. There are serious questions being asked of negligence, of lapses here. And I think there's no two ways about it. It was a result of lapses that we saw this kind of a stampede happening.
Indeed, Akshita, I think both the organizers as well as the administration, both have had their share of lapses in organizing this kind of road shows. And also the fact that, Vijay himself has been articulating fears that there are too many curbs on his rallies and his road shows, and police arrangements are inadequate. And there have been attempts at mischief also in these places, where he himself has voiced fears that could be stampede. We have seen in earlier occasion. Here also, I am told there are 2-3 related incidents which have seemed to have happened at that moment. One, a child went missing. Two, there's supposed to have been a power cutoff. I mean, this kind of incidents has been happening in Vijay's thing. But overall question is, if police did grant permission, imposing more than 10 conditions, I am told, why were not enough policemen present there? Because right from the morning when the road show started off from Namakkal, I could see from the drone pictures that were coming, there were too many people on the road. Yeah. And Namakkal is not a very big town. The streets are very narrow. With so many people there, that itself was a first warning sign. And also the path ahead of that, his cavalcade or motorcade, whatever, that was also completely blocked. So if anything were to happen, I mean, there was no way they could clear the path. So somewhere along, I find ambulances were missing. When so many people gather, is it not job of the district administration to force
100%. 100%. I agree with you, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, that the district administration must be pulled up here. Questions must be asked of them. But surely the TVK also must be held accountable, Mr. Iyer. Vijay can't claim this is a conspiracy.
No, definitely. You see, when you are leading a new party and you have your star power, and people are out there more because they want to have a glimpse of you being a celluloid hero. So all the more Vijay should have taken into fact that the crowds that are coming to his scene, they can go crazy. So why did he adopt this kind of a road show without adequate arrangements? See, previously we have seen in rallies, he held 2-3 rallies by now, and all those rallies were fairly well managed. There were no difficulties in the sense, of course, even there, because of the timing and given the weather condition in Tamil Nadu today, at many places people had collapsed. And also, women coming with their children. We saw in the earlier rally which happened, there also the same thing happened. The women and children had to be rushed to the hospital. So in rally after rally, in every public appearances, this is happening. And at this time of the year, Tamil Nadu is particularly very hot and humid. I mean, these things have to be taken into account. And if TVK, under Vijay is starting out, they have to take into all these factors. It may be true that police and the state administration are not exactly cooperative. They have been creating problems and hurdles. Actually, this happened in EPS. When EPS has been addressing road shows.
He said that, yes.
There were scenes of, an ambulance coming in without any patient, and that creating a commotion there. And EPS even signaled it. Even today, in his first reaction, EPS said, look, opposition leaders are not getting that kind of police bandopast, which only the ruling side is getting. So the big question that will come now is, what will be the new protocol? What should be the guidelines that
I agree, yeah.
Also ensure a free and I would say equal playing field for all the parties.
No, and this is not something that we should see politicking over. Security is not something we should see politicking over, because that then sets a very, very dangerous precedent. It becomes a big issue.